we have Augustine Aguayo, just out of prison in a U.S. stockade in Germany, spent nearly 8 months for refusing to redeploy to Iraq. He'll be speaking for about 10 minutes, followed by Mark Wilkerson, who just got out of, I believe, Fort Sill brig after doing about 7 to 8 months, again, also for refusing to redeploy to Iraq. Steve will talk to us on behalf of Iraq Veterans Against the War and why IVAW believes that supporting GI resistance is a key part of stopping this war. Army Specialist Augustine Aguayo.
Thank you. I feel so happy to be here amongst family and friends. And I got to meet Mark for the first time, and I've been looking at stories on the web about him, and so touched that someone like him, that I'm not this crazy person that the Army would like to, has portrayed me as, this off-the-wall soldier. There's actually very young, courageous men coming to the same conclusions. Speaking with Mark earlier today, we talked about the obvious, which is our age difference. Mark 23, me, I'm 35. And Mark said to me something very interesting. He said, you know, you had a life before you came into the military. To me, for me, the Army was everything. And I thought that was very interesting because I feel that very early on when I entered the military, I struggled through the indoctrination process, through what the Army tries to do with a person, which is strip them of everything they had believed and all the concepts and all the core of the person. And the Army tries to knock that and strip that completely to the ground. And I think it was because maybe I was older, I struggled with that so much. I remember when I was in basic training, I had pain when I said left, right, kill. It took me forever to say those words, and I never felt comfortable doing it. And of course, this has taught me so much. Act violently towards others. I went to Iraq. When I'm in Iraq, I realized that deep down, I can't possibly hurt anyone. And of course, I've been told by people, you know, given the situation, you could have killed someone, you could have hurt someone. So I guess I'm very lucky that I did it. I did something very crazy when I was in Iraq, which was not to load my weapon when I was on guard duty and when I left the gates. Everything I had experienced in my life wrong. So coming back from Iraq, that was so painful in itself, because I had to walk in that base every day with a uniform and put on this face that it seemed that like I was okay with everything. But I had to look at the tanks that I knew had caused so much devastation in Iraq. Fortunately, they asked me to go again, and I said no, and as a lower enlisted, of course that wasn't good enough.
As I mentioned before, Mark Wilkerson just was released from Fort Lewis stockade after doing nearly 8 months for refusing to redeploy. Mark can tell you the story, but many people remember Mark from speaking out at Camp Casey in Crawford, Texas, before he turned himself in, and surrounded by people like Ann Wright here in the back, who were there to bear witness to his resistance. And it's an honor to have Mark here today with us, only days after being released from the Gulag. Come on, Mark.
First off, I just want to say that this is amazing that we have, people standing at the door because they can't find room in this place. I just think it's amazing that so many people want to come in and share ideas and feelings with each other. I feel rejuvenated and re-energized. I have just spent 5 years basically in a battle. First Iraq, applying for conscientious objector after getting back, finding out 9 months later it was denied, told I have to return to Iraq. Making the very difficult decision to go AWOL, being gone for a year and a half, and then turning myself back in. And I was sentenced on February 22nd this year to 7 months in prison. If you guys add it up, yeah, I mean, I should still be there, but after 5 months, I worked hard enough, and I earned up some good days, and I actually received a month's clemency from the Fort Hood General, who has shown a little bit of compassion to other resistors. There were 4 AWOL soldiers, and he granted a month or 2 clemency to all of us. So I actually think that's a good thing that he did. He certainly didn't have to, but so I'm just very happy. My life's just been so just wonderful since I've gotten back. My relationships with my wife, with my family, suffered immensely. My inner self was destroyed and brought down many times during this entire situation, and I feel complete again. I feel whole again. I'm around people who have shown some real love and support, and I'm for real. I'm here, and I'm wanting to do the same thing all you guys are doing here, and that's to stop this number from getting any higher.
All right.
But when I think of something like Courage to Resist, and I see my name and my picture on there with all these other amazing people, most of whom I've never met and might not ever meet, but I don't know what to think when I see my name next to something that says Courage to Resist, because when I was going through this entire episode, this entire ordeal of the conscientious objector and the subsequent AWOL, I didn't think of myself as brave. I mean, if anything, it was the complete opposite. I was scared to go back to Iraq a second time. I was scared to lose any more of myself, because I left enough of who I was, just like a lot of my friends lost either their lives or a big part of themselves, and I just knew that there wasn't enough of me left to splatter all over the ground in Iraq. And so I don't think of it as brave, because there are people in my unit who they're back for a 3rd time now, and that takes just as much bravery. I mean, if not more than saying no. I don't know where that line goes between bravery and courage and cowardice and stupidity. I don't know where all those words fit in, and I don't know what you can call any of us. But I had a friend of mine call me just last week. He was evacuated from Iraq. He got shot twice in the stomach here, and 2 of the people who I had met, they were killed, and their names were Bob and Joshua. And he actually went back to Iraq, and he called me 2 days ago, and he said, I'm going back, and I don't have much choice in the matter. And there's part of me that says, you do. I mean, everybody does. I mean, certainly the 5 months in jail was no cakewalk, but for me, when I look and I say, I mean, that was a healing process for me. That 5 months there for me was the time that I could get right with myself again, because there's been a part of me that's been a battle with myself. The me that was 18 years old. I guess just with that, I've said all that I need to. I've made my peace, but I just wanted to thank Courage to Resist for all the work and all the people you guys are making aware of. And I hope that more soldiers continue to stand up and say no, because only until we do that, this war won't stop, until more soldiers stand up and say, I'm not going to go.